All right, we are live tonight after the Suns did lose to the Clippers 131 to 122. It's just me tonight, Jamsters. Just me hanging out. All right, I don't have anybody that is a special guest. John is currently not with us because he is sick. So what we're gonna do is just something a little different. We'll probably just have a quick pod, but let's just talk some Suns and maybe get some questions in from the Jamsters tonight. And just let me know if you can actually hear me very well. I know there's a lot of music going on in the background, and it's probably very frustrating. But just let me know if you can hear me. So yeah, 120, 131 to 122, the Suns did lose. But you have to admit, man, like this, I'm gonna be calling you man. I do apologize. It's just like my lingo. But tonight it looked like a blowout, right? And guess what? I did predict that. I predicted tonight that the Suns would probably get blown out, but cut it to about 5 points. But they ended up losing the game. Tonight they cut it to 8. Very, very close, but they could not stop the Clippers tonight. Anytime the Suns got anything going, the Clippers for sure got back on top of the Suns by nailing almost every three. So it was an impossible defeat for the Suns, and I don't blame this loss on anybody. I think with KD being out, we'll talk about him in a little bit. With KD being out, yeah, it's definitely going to be something to look forward to with him coming back with his team because tonight they showed a lot. They show a lot. And there's one guy tonight we'll talk about, Bol Bol. And maybe that's why John sat this one out. Maybe that's why he's sick tonight. Because Bol Bol is pretty fucking good. But let's start the pod. That's right. We're already getting a lot of Bol Bol love from Eddie E. Bol Bol has arrived. You know what? He has. Watching this game tonight, the eruption from the crowd, every time he touched the ball, every time he hit a block, anytime he actually made a three-pointer, he could just touch the ball. This place is crazy. It's nuts. It's like they won the actual NBA championship every time this guy does anything. All right. And I'm not like whispering just to be creepy. There's people around me, so don't be too loud yet. We'll get wild and crazy pretty soon. But so Bol Bol, my takeaway is I'm so glad he has arrived. And Lazy Sasquatch, did you say 2 words, Bol Bol? Simple as that for this game. Going into this game, I was very interested to see Bradley Beal and how he would play without Kevin Durant and also just being alongside Devin Booker. Just those two running the team tonight. But what stuck out the most was Bol Bol. And if my fat fingers could find the drop, I would. But right now, I'll just talk about him. I don't think we're going to be drops tonight. McCoy says Bol Bol, of course. There's a lot of Bol Bol love. But the thing is, the energy he brings to this team, you always hear about, these guys that come out, not the fuck shit up guys, but the other guys, the guys that come in and just bring the crowd back into it, can actually stabilize a lead off the bench or even, cut into it. And tonight, that's what Bol Bol did. He came in, he played with Booker. You saw them running the pick and roll in the fourth quarter. I think Beal had his moments tonight, but at that time, Booker wanted to run the pick and roll with Bol Bol. And Bol Bol was pumped up. Bol Bol was excited. He has that excitement that you want from a guy like that because, it's good to see that because a lot of us think that this is just secondary to him, right? He's just super tall. He can't really play, but he's here because he's super tall, right? That's what a lot of us do think. Not me. I've loved him ever since the beginning, right? I'm gonna throw it out there a lot. Because I know John's a hater who's watching. You might use a little bit of crow coming back, but tonight, man, you saw that the energy he has, as I was talking about earlier, is just contagious. And it's important for him to have that because that's the want. That's the one thing, and I'll bring his name up, DeAndre, that we wanted to see in him. This guy's up there blocking shots, like flexing, making sure that the crowd knows that he's here, and it doesn't take much. But it's good to see that, man, because I think a lot of us are kind of worried, like, if he had that effort in him. And you saw tonight, right? And I know, look at the score, 131 to 122. It sucks the Suns lost, right? It's the second game without KD. We'll talk about him in a little bit. But what sucks is, or what's the good thing is you saw that from Bol Bol tonight, all right? Me going into this game, and Jamsters might not like this. Do I hate Gavin, creepy crawly? Boy, I do not. Hey, Gavin. You know, Gavin's in the house tonight, and I did not have time to go down there and see him. And what happens is, I know you guys don't care. I'll get back to the game, but like people will come to the game that I know. I know a few people. They've come to the game, and I'm always like, yeah, I'll meet up. And I just never do because when you're sitting in here, and maybe you can go down and get a hot dog. It's just a little bit. There's not a whole lot of in between time to get back to writing. So I apologize. But Friday night, we're all hanging out. We're gonna get some fucking drinks. We're gonna drink. Maybe Jamsters in town. You can join us after. Have a live pod with some Jamsters in the pod. That'd be sick. But yeah, I do not hate Gavin. Just do not have the time. I do apologize. I knew he'd be here Friday, so I was like, it's okay. I'll catch up then. Back to the game. So yeah, you want to see that from Bol Bol, obviously. I think after the 3-game losing streak, we're questioning everything. Is this team turning it around or whatever? If tonight were to go the way of a shutout, a blowout, and they lose by the 20 points and it maybe ramped up to 30, then yeah, there's some questions, right? If Beal and Book can handle these situations without KD. But my biggest takeaway is just Bol Bol making sure that everyone stayed in the game. We saw that from Adoka, who would come into the games during that losing streak. He didn't care if we were down by like 100 points. He still wanted his. Bol Bol wants his. And I've been talking about him for a while. He wants his. He wants to make sure that he has this imprint on this game and future games. So, Jamsters, I gotta ask. I'm not gonna play the drop because I can't. Just kind of lazy, maybe. They're taking shots or something. Our Bol Bol memory won't fire. I don't know if you can hear the chanting. I gotta ask though. The fourth quarter minutes he played tonight. So tonight, Bol Bol did end the game with 19 minutes, a lot of them in the fourth, 67 shooting, 2 from 2 from 3, 14 points, 5 rebounds. Will we continue to see this? Even with KD coming back, I know you kind of want size, you kind of want that length, but do we see Bol Bol entering in the first quarter? He didn't play till the second, and I was waiting for him to come in the first. Will we see him coming off the bench, I think, really in the fourth with the guys like tonight? Grayson Allen was starting, and Kogi came in. At times, you're just like, what the fuck are you doing? But I just think Bol Bol's kind of made his mark on this game and in the future to really just take that leap to be one of the first guys come off the bench, and we all want that, right? Lazy Sasquatch to say yes. John Doe, damn, Voido really ducking the crow. It's funny. It's funny. Even in a loss, you could see that's in. Well, I'm super pumped. I'm super pumped, and I know they lost, but I'm very, very excited about that. John Chad said, I don't know what to start. I gotta get in here so I can read it on my little phone. He's an energizing piece that's needed from the bench. Yeah, he's not going to be a starter, I don't think so. I think he's going to be one of the first guys to come off the bench. And John has joined, and he's here to eat some crow. Is that why you're on the pod now, dude?
I think that's why I'm sick. Is I was eating crow the other day after talking about Bol Bol, and I got some sort of food poisoning. That or the common cold. I don't know. Thanks for having me, Matthew.
Yeah, I think I would have done the whole hour just talking about Bol Bol. I mean, the electricity in this fucking arena when he does anything, but like when he's actually a part of a comeback, I've never heard anything like that in my life. It was frightening at times.
It was terrifying watching it. I was really, I agree with John Tran in the chat that crow is best served with Grey Poupon mustard. I think you're right. I'm scared. I might actually start to like Bol Bol because I'm seeing some of those fundamental challenges that I didn't think he possessed. He's executing those. And I like, for all the people who say they want to fire Frank Vogel, if you're liking Bol Bol's performances right now, you can't say fire Frank Vogel, because I honestly think that they're connected. And I think that a lot of the time spent in practice and a lot of the time that he has spent with Frank Vogel and his coaching staff has really been essential to his growth and what we've seen. Now is again, this 2 games in a row, give me 3. I want 10 straight for Hall of Fame Bol.
I mean, did you expect the second game in a row? I expected the minutes, but yes, I don't know if I expected the same kind of energy, the same kind of output. Like, he basically came in and had the same as that game, but like there's just a different kind of twist where he definitely wants the ball, wants to be in these situations. Like, that's just awesome to see.
I just wish that he would have, especially in the fourth quarter when that comeback was occurring. I wish he wasn't so gun shy because of the way that Ivica Zubac was playing off of him on the perimeter. He had wide open threes, and he chose to pass out of that. And I understand why. With Devin Booker and Brad Beal out there, you're going to try to put the ball in their hands. But it wasn't until late in the fourth where he finally shot a corner three and he netted it. And I was just like, dude, it's about 4 or 5 possessions. I'm like, take a couple shots, Bol Bol. No one else was making them. Why not you? Why not you? Number 11, former Abdul Nader.
I know. I was gonna say too, with the guys coming off the bench, there was a stretch there. I don't know if this kind of hindered the Suns' shot to come back and win the game, if that was a possibility. But the minutes from Josh Okogie in the fourth, I mean, if Frank Vogel didn't pull him right there for Grayson Allen, I was gonna be like, "What the hell is he doing on the court?" I know he had like a nice block in the fourth.
That was all he had. That was good, though.
But he was the one piece that was like, "You're fucking it up for everybody," right? I like Okogie. He's gonna take a little bit more time to get back into things, maybe. I don't know, but in this situation, it's like, why is Okogie in there? I don't know. I was just thinking that the whole time.
Well, and Okogie, as we know, becomes the pigeon on offense, not on defense, on offense. Opposing teams like the Clippers sag off of him because they know that he is a zero. And we saw it a couple times in the fourth on key possessions, right? The Suns were down either 10 or 8, fighting back, and they whip it around, and there he is, standing alone, wide open in the corner. And he could just take the three. And what does he do? He drives and conducts an offensive foul on Paul George. And you're like, dude, what are you doing out here? And there was another possession either before or after that where it was the same thing, where it was just kind of a boneheaded Josh Okogie offensive play. So, those are the things that the Suns will tighten up. This game obviously had a lot of peaks and valleys at the beginning and peaks at the end. And it's nice that it happened that way versus vice versa. Had the Suns played very well coming out of the gate and faded away like they have in some games this season, you come into this post-game podcast and you leave this game going, what the actual fuck is wrong with the Suns? But you take a look at how this game started, and the Clippers shot the lights out. I mean, they were absolutely ridiculous tonight. Overall, they end up shooting 52% from beyond the arc, 55% from the field, but they were upwards of 60 the majority of the game until that fourth quarter. So they were, and this is an elite shooting team. We know that. We talked about that on the last pod as we were prepping for this. It's like, this is a team that can make shots because they have a team full of bucket getters. And Kawhi Leonard, who ends with like 28 something points, he had 0 points in the first quarter. So they literally just kind of take turns laying it on you. But I think that the things that need to be tightened up, as you noted and I noted, is, Josh Okogie, you're a great middle of the game minutes, lock up the opposing second team defender kind of guy. And you can lock up first team guys, but unless it's like the final 2 minutes and you're going possession for possession and you can use Okogie to be out there on defense only possessions, due to the fact that he is just, he lacks confidence, lacks complete confidence as an offensive player, then he's useless. I'm sorry, Josh.
Yeah, it's like that one play.
Talking.
It is. How many meds are you on, or what? Tranquilizers? Yeah.
No, not.
Do you even know what's going on right now?
Where am I? I thought I wasn't doing a pod tonight. I wasn't feeling good.
Yeah. You're like, oh, you might want to do a solo one. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. But you're here, so everyone's excited. Everyone's like, John's here. Hell yeah, dude! Now everyone's coming back. Here come the viewers. I was gonna say. I would rather, of course, have Grayson Allen in that lineup in the end. But
yeah,
the biggest thing is, like, I came into this game, even as I told a guy at work, I'm like, this is what I said. I'm like, the Suns are gonna get blown out. The first 3 quarters, they're gonna make a run, but lose by 5. And I'm going to be okay with that because I know KD's out, but I want to see stuff from other guys, kind of like what we saw with like Udoka before, like a little bit of Saban Lee, but I want to see what these other guys can do in the situation, including Bradley Beal and Booker, but mainly the fact that Bol Bol stood out so much. That was my biggest positive. And I'm okay to be in a good mood, I feel like, after this loss. Like, I thought it was going to be lost anyways.
Yeah, I think we all did, especially once we found out that Kevin Durant wasn't going to be playing in this game. To your point, it's one of those games you go into it and you're like, okay, the Clippers are fully healthy and we're without Kevin Durant and Nasir Little and Damian Lee. So I hope that we put up a fight. I hope that there's some confidence builders out there, which we saw tonight. And I hope that when we play this team again on Monday in Los Angeles, we are at full strength. And based on some of the rotations that we saw and how effective they were against the Clippers at some point in this game, which ended up for the Suns being in the third and fourth quarter, that we take something away from this game that is a learning experience rather than just an ass whooping. And that's what, that's how I feel that we got tonight. We got some things that we saw could work against this team, who's a team who you might see in the playoffs. And if we do, fuck, they're scary. Oh, this is a scary team, man. Like, they're everything you want the Suns to be, just an offensive juggernaut of a team with a big, burly Bosnian center in the middle. Like, they're literally what the Suns are, but they have that extra pow coming off the bench in Russell Westbrook that nobody wanted in Phoenix except you and me because we thought that he'd be great coming off the bench, right?
Yeah, he doesn't have much size, but his rebounding is elite. I think still
for his size, absolutely it is.
Yeah, I mean, he had the 5 rebounds in 18 minutes tonight. But it's funny how Russ just kind of played his way out of this like whole thing, because the way that Harden's handling the whole offense is just exceptional. But they like tonight, they let teams back in. So I think the fight that the Suns had, it's so cliche to say, but the fight that they had to stick with it and really have a chance in the end really proved a lot. Because you can't just get blown out and be like, all right, we're done. And I think Beal, throughout most of his game, he kept pushing that pace. I mean, his shots were not falling, obviously. He had great looks. He was getting to the rim when he wanted to. He's so fucking fast and quick to get to where he wants.
Yeah.
That it was easy for him, but the shots just did not fall. This was like the makings of a good 40-point Beal game. Even though Booker had 35 tonight, but I thought it was going to be the Booker or the Beal game.
Yeah, I think we were all looking forward to that, and I still think that we saw a lot of great things from Bradley Beal and Devin Booker in this game. Knowing that Booker, who has been in a shooting slump of late, went 11 of 15 from the field for 35 points and had 6 assists. This was a great rebounding game and confidence builder for Devin Booker, who's been slumming it a little bit. And it was nice to see Book come out and play in the manner that he did and lock in the manner that he did, especially in that second half. And the challenge that we had is, if the Suns had shown up in any capacity in the first 15 minutes of this game, it's a completely different game. And if Devin Booker had made the right decision and chosen not to wear the headband, this would have been a completely different game. So
why does he do that?
I don't know. I don't know if you saw, I posted on Twitter, but some guy, at halftime, behind TC is like holding up the, Booker, take off your headband sign. Whoever that guy is, dude, like, DM me. I owe you a beer next time. Game.
Everyone knows. I don't know why he does it, but it's not going to be back next game. I mean, he looked good tonight, but the victory is all he cares about.
It will be. Oh, it's been back. He hasn't worn a headband once this season. Just once.
I'll never notice.
That's
I don't know why. That's the one thing. So, are we doing pod? Or are we just hanging out for a little bit?
We're hanging. I'm not feeling great, so if you want to continue talking, you can. I just had to jump on a little bit, say what's up to the ladies and jamsters and whatnot. I think, let's see. Let's take some questions from the chat. Okay, creepy collie vagina. Okay, that's cool.
He's been great. He's been great so far in the pod.
Yes. He has penis. That's good too. Did Bol Bol get some confidence lessons? Maybe hypnosis. Yeah, that's what it feels like. It feels like what Frank Vogel and his staff has instilled in him is just that. It's confidence, and you're seeing it on both sides of the floor. Now, he still gets pushed around. Like, there's some switches. He's playing on Ivica Zubac, and Zubac's pushing him around, and he definitely has his limitations as a player. But if he can produce like this, if he can go out there and give the Phoenix Suns 19 minutes again and 14 points and 5 rebounds and 2 assists and doing that off the bench, I'm all for that. I absolutely love that. I think that that's exactly what you need off the bench, is someone who can come in and create problems for opposing teams. And that's what Bol Bol has done.
Yeah, and I think that he's not a leader yet, but you can see that in him. I don't know, tonight was just this is the beginning of something different. How the Suns made that turn 3 games ago? We could just feel it. I could feel it with Bol Bol just making that turn. That's a feeling I get from this man. I mean, if the guy's gonna throw up the 11 points or whatever, or the 14 points, be like, oh, yeah, it was a good game. It's no, this was an insane moment in his career, I feel like.
So here's an interesting comment. I'd like to get your point of view on this. Lazy Sasquatch, shout out to you, and thank you for always joining us in the chat. Bradley Beal is not all the way back. How do you feel? Do you think that he's all the way back, or do you still think he has some ways to go?
No, I think he's back. I think those shots, like I said earlier, dude, he had everything he wanted tonight, right? He started in the first quarter really just going against Paul George and like just putting him on skates. Who else did he put on skates tonight? Like, was it Powell or somebody and he missed a three? Like, it was all there for him tonight. He's getting what he wants. And the fact that he can change things up, they're saying,
is that a zombie?
Yeah,
zombie apocalypse?
they're climbing up here right now, dude. So I only got about 5 minutes.
Oh, jeez. Are they the World War Z type?
No, because I would be dead by now. But I think what Bill, like he switches things up, like his speed. Because Booker and KD, like when they want to get to the rim, they can, but it seems like it just takes forever. Compared to Beal, when you see Beal out there,
Beal's
it's like,
so quick.
Oh my God, what? He's already underneath the rim. This is the reverse layup, but it's all there for him. I think he's definitely back.
So one thing that I noticed in this game was just that he I feel like if he's not back, he's pretty darn close because of his explosiveness. And I honestly think that because he rolled his ankle, it really gave him time to, he had an extra 2 weeks to rest that back. And the back, I feel, is a lot more concerning than the ankle because that's core stuff, right? Like that's going to affect everything. It's going to affect your shot. It's going to affect your arms. It's going to affect your legs, everything. And, I wrote that down in the few notes that I took tonight before I decided, I'm like, I just can't do this. And now here I am doing this, is that I think that Bradley Beal, he might not be back, but man, I feel like he's pretty darn close. And that's nice to see. It looks really nice to see. If we were to start an OnlyFans page where we just put our feet on there, just you and me, just posting our feet on OnlyFans, should we call it the Suns Toe Jam?
Yeah, we probably get paid more too.
I know.
People are weird out there. They would probably want to see some jam between the toe and us picking it out.
Yes,
people would love that.
with our toe knife.
Yeah, our toe. Oh,
so shout out to Jill Taylor on that one. She thought of that, but I think that's a pretty funny. That's another revenue stream that we got to really explore. So yeah, John Tran says, our Jamel toe. When will the bench look better when Nas comes back? I don't know if it's going to change much. I feel like Nas had his moment. I think that he's he'll provide some semblance of defense and offense, but I don't know how much better. Like, describe better. Is it better offensively? Is it better defensively? It might be a little bit better defensively, but I don't know how much of an impact he truly had, other than about a 4-game stretch about 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's like if you go down the roster, it's like, who do you really trust? Like, to really take the Suns to the next level. And there's only like the Eric Gordon, the starting five, obviously, with Eric Gordon. And then I guess I could throw Bol Bol on there now. Azubuike still. Udoka, I still want to see more of him. But everybody else, I'm just like, Like, even Jordan Goodwin just disappeared. And, Eubanks, you're not getting anything from him. So
well, and the Jordan Goodwin thing makes sense because if you look at his on-off, I mean, he is, from an offensive rating standpoint, he is horrible if Devin Booker's not on the floor with him. Like, he has a 123 offensive rating when Devin Booker's out on the floor with him, but you pull Booker off of the floor, who he should be spelling as the backup point guard, quote unquote, and it's like a 109, and that's like one of the worst on the team when Booker's not in the game. So it makes sense that he's not out there. Saul asks, why did KBD take Metu's minutes? I don't know if that's right because Metu took Durant's minutes because Metu's starting now. So that's why KBD took Metu's minutes, is because Metu's not there fulfilling those minutes these last 2 games. He's been playing in Durant's role.
Yeah, you can just see KBD. This is like his type of game. I think the size and everything, it's a good matchup for him. So you have to throw him in there. But 21 minutes, I didn't even realize that Metu only played the 15 minutes tonight, man.
Yeah, I think
solid numbers.
I think he's not as long as KBD tonight, so I think that they put him out there. But KBD didn't look good either at all. Offensively, defensively. 21 minutes, he had 5 points on 1 of 3 shooting, 3 assists. But I mean, they put him out there to put length on Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, and it didn't work. Those guys. I mean, you look at the shooting for the Stars on the Clippers, and Paul George was 8 of 14 for 33 points. So 14 shots to get 33 points. It's pretty darn good. Kawhi Leonard, 9 of 16 for 30 points, right? 16 shots, 30 points. Pretty darn good. James Harden only shot the ball 13 times, and he ended with 22 points. So their big three, if you will, did what they needed to do, and they did so at a high clip. They set the standard, and it really was like Terrence Mann, who ended with 12 points, but he had like the first 8 points. Like he's the one who hurt the Suns right out the bat. It was effing Terrence Mann. He came out, first shot of the game, he hit a 3, then he had a layup, then he had another 3. I was like, good Lord, like if Terrence Mann is cooking us, we are screwed.
Yeah, he's always the X factor, and he always does. He hits those big shots in big moments. But yeah, I think Paul George, he had 8 out of the first 16 points. I mean, Paul George was fucking phenomenal to start the game, and honestly thought he was going to go for 50. He even had, I think, his 14th point of the first quarter bounce in, like it just was bouncing around the rim. I'm like, okay, this game's over. I think when he made that, I'm like, this game's over. And then when Kawhi Leonard just threw up that shot, it was a mid-range shot, but he just threw it up, and it was like barely beating the shot clock. That one went in. I'm like, okay, now it's really over. Like that's the way it was going for the Clippers tonight for sure. And like, tell me if I'm wrong, I feel like the Suns kind of picked it up defensively. They had hands in their face, everything. It's just these guys could not miss, especially Norman Powell, just hitting big shot after big shot.
Yeah, and I mean, again, it's one of those days, right? And that's why you leave this game and you don't sit there and say the sky is falling. But you can sit there and say, you know what? After watching this game, I can recognize and state confidently that the Clippers right now are a better team. And I think everyone in the NBA would know that. They went 11-2 in the month of December. This is a team that's firing on all cylinders right now. And the goal is for the Suns to get there. And the goal is for the Suns to get there as we enter the postseason. Because what the Clippers are doing right now are things that we've seen the Suns do over the past 4 or 5 years, where they're playing great, and then when the postseason comes, they fall apart. So the goal is to get to the point to where when we play the Clippers at the back end of the season, right? And when we play the Clippers on the back end of the season, it's like a back-to-back. And I don't know if it's in LA or Phoenix. It's probably in LA, where it's like April 9th and April 10th, we play them in a back-to-back. So it's one of those weird back-to-backs, home series, like when we're playing them at that point, that's when we need to be ready. That's when we'll really have a good understanding as to the barometer of this team.
Yeah, and I think the fact that we went through what we went through already, that was the worst of it. Now it's like, these losses that are, I guess, moral victories, they're easier to kind of accept now. I think we had a few of these before that losing streak we went on, but right now it's kind of like, we know we're going to lose this game, but we know what we have, and that's the whole thing about the season. Just we got to have it at the right time, right? So as long as we know what we have it, then what am I talking about?
I don't know, moral victories or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Bullshit.
The Suns Toe Jam podcast.
The Jamel Toe.
The Jamel Toe podcast.
Jeez.
Oh man, I love the Jamsters, man. We have the best. Yeah. We have the best fans out of any of the podcasts. And to those of you who are other Suns podcasters and you listen to ours, thank you for doing so. And you know that I know that our listeners are easily the best. They have the best senses of humor, I would have to say.
Oh yeah, otherwise they wouldn't be watching.
Yeah, or they'd be disgusted by us. I can do a little bit of subreddit. I think I got like 2 things off the subreddit before I just got too tired to do it.
Is it?
Let's try it.
The Suns Jam Session Subreddit Stakeout.
This really isn't going to be good for my voice because my throat hurts like a son of a bitch. But here's the 3 things that I took from the subreddit for the Los Angeles Clippers. Bradley Beal sucks. Devin Hooker is overrated. Durant is going to leave. The Suns have a bunch of nobodies on their bench, only above 500 because they played shitbox teams the past few games. What a joke this team is. And what pissed me off the most about that is they spelled Suns S-O-N-S, and I know that people do that on purpose. When people talk shit about the Suns, they call them the Suns. It doesn't matter. Oh, I don't know why I clicked that. They spell it S-O-N-S. So disrespectful. I just hope Kawhi stays away from that dirty motherfucker, Grayson Allen. Standard. And then the weird takes on Devin Booker's looks continue. And it happened in the Los Angeles Clippers subreddit. I've always felt like Booker's head looks like it's made out of clay or Play-Doh, and I've never understood why. Interesting take. Interesting take indeed.
The Suns Jam Session Subreddit Stakeout.
Oh damn, dude! Did you hear all that?
What was that?
I like cleared my throat. Was I
Yeah.
on mute or no?
No.
Yes, I did it. I did it again.
We're all getting sick. People, take your Zycam, okay? John Doe. Void's voice sounds like it's got crow beak stuck in his throat. That's what I said. The reason I'm sick is I was eating crow after the Bol Bol's last game, and it got me sick as a dog, I guess. You know, crow is cook the crow, people. Like, if you're gonna eat crow, like, cook it.
Yeah.
I like what I saw from Bol, man. Like I said, it's kind of like the DeAndre Ayton. It's like kind of like the DeAndre Ayton conversations that we've had for 5 years. You wanted the guy to be successful. You just didn't know if you just didn't have faith that he consistently could. And with Bol Bol, it's the same thing. Like, I want him to be successful. Hell yeah, to have a 7'3" guy who can go out there and like contribute. Like, F yeah, dude, that's a game changer. And I didn't think that he could. He's proved me wrong the last 2 games. So keep it going, Bol Bol. Let's go, Lob Lob. I love you, Lob Lob.
Dude, this is it. I'm telling you, man. Like, if I'm wrong, I'll eat crow. But I think he's gonna be a 20-minute guy off the bench, something like that. By the time the season's done, for sure.
I mean, he outplayed Nurkic tonight.
Oh, he's fucking great. I love it.
Yeah. What else do you want to talk about?
I don't think I have too much.
Well, the next game for the Suns, they play on Friday against the Heat, correct?
Yep, Friday night.
So that's a game,
right?
Yeah, I'll put in for credentials for both of us because that's what definitely one. Like, I wanted to go to the last 2. I'm just not feeling good. So hopefully I'm feeling better. We can go there. We can hang out. Gavin and his family will be in town, so we can go and say what's up to him. Do a quick post-game pod, and then maybe hang out downtown and hang out with his family. Go to Marley's or something. Have a beer or something on a Friday night, which is also my last day working at my job. So have a celebratory, like, I no longer work here beer. Looking forward to that. Oh yeah, duh. How rude of me, dude.
Jam star of the game.
That's our new thing, is we just cough over our own drops.
We should just do it and never say anything. Everyone's like, do they know that they're not on mute?
These guys are amateurs, man. What are they doing? Jamelto. Where is she? There you go. I did that for you, few more hours. Jam Store versus JV as Batman. Where is she? Fatigue. Booker's the Jam Star. Dude, it was 11 for 15 for 35 points. I don't care how tall Bol Bol is. I don't care what he wears after pregame or after practice. Did you see what he was wearing yesterday? That like black mink coat.
Yes. I'm telling you, man. The turn. Yeah, I've never seen anybody wear anything in a shoot around interview. I'm like, besides what they wear to warm up. What is? You lasering me? You want to give me a migraine? So I'm gonna give it to Bol Bol.
Of course you are. Woo! It's a
he turned the whole game around, dude. When he came in, Booker couldn't have done that by himself.
He could have, but he didn't. Well, you know why? Because he had Bol Bol, and when you have a Bol Bol, you eat crow. What else you want to talk about?
I don't know. I think we're grossing everybody out, dude.
Yeah, this has been a pretty gross podcast between Suns Toe Jam and phlegm balls and Matthew clearing his throat. It's been real. It's been nice, but it hasn't been real nice. So we appreciate you, Jamsters. Thanks for hanging out with us as per usual. Sorry we didn't bring our A game, but I'm feeling under the weather. Guess what? I'm sick. Dude, yesterday sucked. Yesterday was one of those days where I didn't get any sleep the night before, and I got up. And it's just the common cold. Like, I went into work today because I was well enough to work, and I zapped it for the most part. I'm just like, at the end of a work day, it's like, oh, just all the stuff doing the pod. It's a lot. Do you know what game I've been playing to, like, I don't know, just to play because I've been bored?
Is it Skyrim again?
No, nothing on the PS5. If you go to like Basketball Reference, they have this like grid game where you sit there and you see it's got like 2 teams, and you have to like say a player who played for both teams. Like, for example, the Kings and the Hawks. Name a player who played for both the Kings and the Hawks. It's tough, huh?
Mike, wait. Didn't Bibby play for the Hawks for a little bit?
No.
Corver? Kyle Corver, did he play for the?
He played, but I can use him. So here's the Hawks and the Cavs. So I'll put in Corver. Thanks for that. Kyle
Kings
Korver.
and
Nice, dude. That one worked. And they have like 9 of them and they're grids across. So that's what I've been doing. Like
okay.
I used for the Kings and the Hawks, I used Vince Carter. So this is what I've been doing. I can share it with you.
He played on like every team.
I know. Well, that's the nice thing. If you have like
Yeah.
Ish Smith or Vince Carter, it's kind of like, well, I don't know anyone who played in both of those.
It's a bit of cheat code, yeah.
Let me go ahead and just put one of those in. If I get it right, great. Yeah, Alex Kroll's right. Len's a good one. He played for both those teams. So it's funny, but if you go to Basketball Reference, it's got this. So like, I'll be just like tonight during the game, I was just sitting there like kind of watching the game, kind of playing this to keep myself mentally engaged because the first half of this game was not mentally engaging. Yeah, Werder, damn, you guys are good.
Good job. Yeah, James is always the best.
I'm pretty good at this game. I'm not great, but
I'm really good.
I'm really good at the baseball one for some reason. But on that note, Jamsters, subscribe, rate, review. We love you. We love you very, very much. A lot. Like, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's us tonight. So we'll see you on Friday. Have a good night. Take your Zycam. And if you need to get into that toe jam, use a butter knife. That's what I've learned.
And go home, love jam. That's it.